Welcome back to Advent of Code, Day 5, 2021. Just want to say thank you so much for the support in this series. It means a ton to me. But yeah, let me not talk. Let's just dive right in. Day 5, hydrothermal venture. So we have some segments and we need to find the intersections between different segments. So because we just need to focus on segments that are vertical and horizontal. Oh, sorry, the opposite, horizontal and vertical. Yeah, we can take some shortcuts that improve performance. And you know that I'm trying to really focus on performance, so we're just going to be doing that. And for starters, we're going to be taking that and oh yeah, or to say something else. Oh wait, is this the input? Yeah, this is the input. Perfect. I just wanted to say that I have put in the GitHub repository, so link down below, another a simple input parsing with the comments and everything, and this is what I'm using now. I'm reusing this code, and actually we're going to be changing this code quite a lot. Here, the map. So the map here should take one of these lines and split on this. So here we're going to say line, and we're going to say line that's split on this. And then we're going to map. Here we're going to say segment and segment split on the comma. And we're actually going to remove the command because it's not valid anymore. And here we're just going to be console logging the lines just to make sure. I always like to check each step. Oh, what happened? Oh yeah, day. I need to put day 05. This is the small kind of errors that if you don't check things quickly, it can just be a nightmare. Okay, so here. So here, this is not segments. Actually, let's change that because I don't like the way we have our data structure. This is just an array of array of array. That's a nightmare. So here, we actually, instead of doing this in one line, which is really short and sweet, we're going to be doing something a bit more complex. We're going to say, actually, we're going to say const from 2 is equal line dot split with the specific pattern here, the arrow. So what we're doing is we have from and to. That's a lot better. And actually here we want to map point and point dot. So we're going to be doing the same here. Basically, I want to return from and to. Is that the right way to do? Yeah. So here we say const x y is equal to point dot split comma. And here we return x and y. So this is a little bit of change that should give us a much nicer output. You see, we have each element of the array is a segment with from and to. So that should be good. So first of all, one thing I should put in my template is we want function part 1 and here we're going to put all of our logic so that we can maybe copy it for part 2. I don't know. I like for the 2 previous days, I think I was using a function and it was much better. So I'm going to try that again. So here, first of all, we need to filter with vertical I don't know how to say, VRH, vertical or horizontal lines. So here we're going to take the vertical or horizontal segments, and here we take the input lines. Actually, we can rename that segments. That's going to be a lot better. And we filter a segment, and how we need to check, we need to make sure that X is the same or Y is the same. So here, for example, they have the same Y, so we know this is same either horizontal or vertical, depending on where you put your X and Y. So here, basically what we're doing, we are saying only consider horizontal and vertical lines. Yeah, actually, this is explained here. So this is good. So we're going to say X dot from dot S dot from dot X is equal to S dot from, oh, you know what? We should parse these. So here we're going to say map number, and I'm going to log again the segments, because yeah, sometimes it's not good to have numbers as strings. I prefer to always have, I've already had some problem in the past, so it's always good, you know, you don't want strings, you want numbers. When you have a number, you want an actual number. To the X or S dot from dot Y is equal S dot to dot Y. So here really this line is copy pasting, this is translating from English to code. So yeah. Now what we would like to do, I think we're going to reuse the idea that they showed here. We're going to make, except, you know what, in order to choose whether we need to create a big matrix or something like that, we don't want a matrix. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the numbers can be huge in the actual output, in the actual input, sorry. The number can be huge, so we don't want to have a matrix because there could be so much space in the matrix. Instead, we're gonna only consider points that have one segment. That's what we're gonna store. So basically, we're gonna have a, we're gonna take a lot of memory, but we're gonna try to speed up on computing time. That's gonna be the focus for this implementation. So here const, we're gonna say the memory. It's just gonna be, we're gonna make this an object. We can make a map actually. Let's make something cleaner. A map is great. That's so what we like to do for, let's call that filtered segments, because this was a very weird variable name that I didn't like. And now for of segment of filtered segments, now what do we need to do? We need to store each point in the memory. So maybe we want to split. So what we want to do, let's write in comments here. We want to go from start to end. For each point, add it to memory. From each point in the segment. So this is what we're going to do. Let's get started. So there are two problems, and I think for each point, once we have a point, X and Y, it should be fairly simple to add it to the memory. Actually, let's do that. Let's say we have const p is equal something X and Y. I'm going to start with that because this is simpler. what I want to do, I want to say const index is x and y, index.sort, and now I can do memory dot add or set, or we can say if const content equal memory dot get get index dot, oh, so here we say const key is equal index dot join with a comma. So now we have our key. We can do that. We can say if there is no content, then content is equal to 0, which means there is no segment going through this specific point. Now we need to say content plus plus and say memory dot set key content. So what we do is we have a point, then actually it should be p.x, p.y. We basically just count how many times there is something passing through it, and we're going to do that first. That will give us something very similar to that, except we will never store any value for the points that have no segments. So I think that should be in a good position to solve this. So here we need to say is vertical, and here we can, oops, sorry, and say segment dot from dot x is horizontal horizontal segment dot from dot to dot x. Okay, so if we have the same x, it means that this is an horizontal segment. That looks good. So here we say let current point is equal segment dot start. So here what we are doing with this specific syntax is not start, from. We are copying, actually let's not use this ES6 syntax. We're just going to say x is equal to segment dot x dot from dot x, and y is equal to segment dot to dot x. This was the same thing, segment dot from. This is the same thing, and the idea is that if you just put current point is equal segment dot from, you're gonna be modifying the x and the y of segment dot from, and you don't want to modify that. So we say while current point dot x is not segment dot, I don't know what I'm writing, segment dot to dot x, and current point dot y is not the same as segment dot to dot y. You do something and then you say if is horizontal and say current point dot x plus equal 1. That's not exactly true, so we're gonna come back to that. Otherwise, current point dot y plus equal 1. So here it works if, let's say, the first point is 0, 0, and then we need to go to I don't know if the first is X and the second is Y. By the way, that's X and Y. Yeah, that's correct. So if 0, 5, oh, okay, so actually to get something horizontal, we need to have the same Y. Just some small things. Okay, so here, actually, let's put 2. So here, this is working fine because we have 0 in X, then we have 1, then we have 2, and this is good. But what happens if our segment is like that? Then this is a big problem. So what we need to do is we need to understand, do we need to +1 or plus, or do ±1? So here, for that, I would just, let's do just like a conditional, like current point that x is bigger than segment that 2.x. In that case, if this is bigger, then it's -1, otherwise this is 1. Actually, let's reverse. Okay, this looks clean. If the point is, if x is smaller than the target x, then you need to increment, otherwise you need to decrement. This is going to be the same for y. Exactly the same code. Okay, so we know if this is horizontal or not. We do something different for horizontal or not, and here, actually this is here where you need to store the point. So we can reuse the code that we wrote previously. And instead of P, here we have current point. That looks fine to me. I think we need to display the memory now. To understand how good we have done this, good or bad. So there's just 13 elements here. Yeah, wait, there we need 5 twos. Here there's 1 and 2 twos. Okay, so there is definitely a problem with our code somewhere. So we start by debugging by displaying segment and is horizontal. This is just going to be like, oops, something simple, but it's important. The first segment is correct. Oh, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 segments. Sounds good. So the first segment is from 0, 9 to 5, 9. So that's oh, I don't have any battery. I need to plug my Mac. We're back. The Mac is loading. The video can go on. So I think what we're gonna be doing here, we're gonna do a break here. So basically, we're just gonna be showing what is in the map for the first. Yes, for the first segment. First segment is 0, 5, 1, 5, 2, 5, 3, 5, 4, 5. This is correct. So this looks quite good, except that in the end we don't have what we want. So I'm gonna check this logic here. We have x and y. Oh yeah, I forgot to say here. Wait. I don't know, that's something dumb here that I've done. Oh my god, it's always good to just like check your code calmly. X and Y, it should be always X first and Y second. Yes, that was like just like very bad, a very bad move that I've done here. So here I'm gonna remove the break, no breaks, and here we still don't have something correct. So here we're going to be logging the key. So now we can actually debug. We're going to be debugging this calmly. So 0, 9. Oh, see, something is bad is that we go from 0 to 4, but we should, yeah, we should go, oh my god, this is looking already bad. 0, 5, 1, 5. This go from 0, 9. Oh, look at that. Another mistake. From Y. As a video watcher, you might have seen that for a while. Here it is, the mistake. So yes and yes. Fine. Except now, while current point is not the same as segment 2, and current point is not segment 2. From X, Y from Y. Okay, something is off somewhere. I'm gonna need to do a bit of thinking. Okay, so I've been doing some thinking, but I have no idea what's happening. So here it looks like we're not entering into this loop. So the best is to just display everything. Sometimes when there is like a conditional that I don't understand, I'm just displaying all the values. Oh, of course. So there will be always one value that's going to be equal to the other value, because it's in one hand, it's vertical or horizontal. So we need to say this or that. In that case, okay, here we have 2, 2. Let's go back. So I know that we found a bug, or another bug earlier, so we're going to fix that as well, is that we don't push 5, 9, so the latest point into the stack. So we need to do that. So we're going to create a function here. That's that. Memory here, we're going to say function add point. Key. We get from the memory and we increase, and that's it. So we're going to use add point here, add point, and here we actually can use that like that. It's clean, and we need to add point after the while. Okay, now we have 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. 5 twos, which is exactly what we are expecting. Here they say there needs to be 5 points. So now we need to do like a little improvement, which is we need number 5. We don't need this full computation, we need number 5. So here we're going to say const intersections new set, and here we say if content, oh actually you know what, we're going to just count, let count is equal to 0. We're just going to say if content is equal to 2, then count plus plus, because basically the content, which is number of points intersecting, is gonna, we only care when it switches to 2, and then when it switches to 4 we will have already counted that. So count, now we just need to display count in the end, and we have 5, so that's correct. We need to remove the console logs that are not needed anymore, and we've got our 5. We should be good for part 1. Like that actually. Suspense, is this correct? Not correct. We've got part 1. Feels good. That was a bit long, but we made it. That's the important stuff. Let's go to part 2. I've got really good news, is that I was afraid this would be like, we would need to consider all segments, but with all angles, but it's only 45 degrees. So it means we can reuse the code from part 1 for this part 2, which is really good. So I think, you know what, we're just going to be copying part 1 for part 2. The reason I'm copying instead of just modifying is because I want to keep in the history what was done for part 1. But if you're doing that competitively, if you're like coding against the clock, you should just like modify your code because part 1 is done. So here we don't care about filtered segments. No, we don't care about filtered segments. Instead of filter segments, we only care about segments, and segments is the variable that is defined here. We've done the parsing at the beginning. So we are good. Now we need something else. Const is vertical, and now we just do, if the x is the same, then the x starting is the same as the x ending, is going to be vertical. So we're going to say else if vertical, and otherwise we're going to have to do this, which is both, because this is a 45-degree angle, so we need to just combine those two things. Is that all? I think this is all. So what we're gonna do, you know, I don't want to make some mistakes and then it's gonna take forever to debug. So we're gonna take the small input and we're just gonna be running that. We have 12 in the end. Let's see here. We were expecting 12. So it looks like we might have solved part 2 really quickly thanks to a clean part 1. Let's try that. Oh, that's good. Thank you very much for the support in this series. I'm really enjoying your comments. So please keep like putting likes, comments, and subscribing. It really keeps me motivated for the series. So thank you so much. That's all for today. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.